Midterm election tomorrow. There are questions about some of the races in our region. Stephanie Domerat spoke with our political analyst John Horvick about some of the biggest ones he's keeping his eye on.
The eve of election night, a big day here in Oregon tomorrow. What are the big races that you are really looking forward to seeing how this comes about?
Well, of course, the governor's race. This is it looks like a very competitive race. It looks possibly like the first time in 40 years a Republican can win this race. And we have this interesting dynamic of a well-funded, non-affiliated voter, or non-affiliated candidate in the race as well. So certainly that's the big one. And there's interesting things that surround it besides those individuals. And that's that Oregonians consistently have told us that they're not happy with the direction of the state, particularly with regards to homelessness and crime. And those issues have really been showing up in this election, certainly with all the ads that have been running. And so it's really a chance for voters to weigh in and perhaps changing the direction of the state.
Another race that you've really got your eyes on here.
Well, certainly the congressional districts, the 5th and the 6th in particular. So the 5th district is one where the Democrat, Jamie McLeod-Skinner, defeated the incumbent in the primary. So it was the more liberal candidate, Jamie McLeod-Skinner, beat the more moderate candidate, Kurt Schrader. And so it's a real test. There's a lot of Democrats nationally really think that Democrats have to be partisans, give people a real clear choice, and taking out the moderate incumbent is a test of that case. So she's running against Lori Chavez-DeRemer, former mayor of Happy Valley. Lori Chavez-DeRemer's got a lot of national money and a chance for Republicans to flip that seat. Up in Washington, across the river, we also have another close congressional district, and it's sort of the opposite of what we have here in Oregon. Where in Oregon, Jamie McLeod-Skinner defeated the moderate incumbent from the left. In Washington, it was Republicans who gave the boot to Jamie Herrera Butler, who had voted for impeachment, and replaced that candidate with a much more conservative, outspoken conservative. And so it's also a test up there in Washington to see whether or not that passionate conservative can hold on to a district that's pretty moderate in its temperament.
And really where those priorities are for those people in that district. All right, John, thank you. We will see how it all happens.
Thank you.